I never thought I'd see the day when the great Avery Sunderland would be on his knees in a swamp. The swamp does hate him. It took his daddy to try to take his life. And guess what? I would say be careful, but careful is for cowards. You thought the hills were alive? Wait till you go to the swamps in Marai. All I know is one thing. Alex is one popular guy. Where is Liam Neeson where you need him? Let's talk some Swamp Thing Season 1, Episode 8, Long Walk Home. The AfterBuzz After Show starts right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Did you all get the Taken reference? Because Alec was taken? No?
Yes.
Liam Neeson. Okay, I'm just making sure that we're all on the same page. It's been a minute.
We're with you.
You know? It's been a minute. I haven't been here, so I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I've been traveling the world, going to swamps all over, trying to collect samples and take them to the CDC. That's right. As we're talking Swamp Thing, Season 1, Episode 8, Long Walk Home. Apparently every title of each episode is a Bruce Springsteen song. They discovered this, and now we are all making the discovery together. I am joined in the booth by the one and only Jeff and Anais. What's up, guys?
What up? How we living?
What's up?
Well, are we about to drop a mixtape now?
We might. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. And if you don't know who I am, I wouldn't be surprised. I've been MIA. I am Tehran. I will be hosting this panel as we go over so many things that we need to talk about. This episode had a lot going on. We're going to talk about some Matt and Lucilia, get into Abby and Harlan. So I'm in Abby and Harlan. If you know Harlan's the best friend, right? We haven't heard that storyline for a while. Get into some Abby and the CDC. Polymer, I want to know what you guys think of this Dr. Polymer. How shady can she be? The new lab that's off the books, meaning Dr. Woodrow and Nathan Hillary. Avery, now that's a whole storyline we need to discuss, as Avery was in the swamp. Then Avery and Harlan had a heart-to-heart. And then we see some memories, and then Avery's part of the whole Taken episode. Swamp Thing gets taken. We have some news and gossip, and our special segment, of course, Whoa, the whoa moment of the episode, some predictions, and so much more. Let's get into this discussion. What were your overall thoughts?
I really liked this episode. I was really happy that Harlan was back because I really liked him. I was a little bit sad that we didn't get to see Susie or Blue Devil again. Like, what's going on? And I think it was just more... I think I liked it because it was more... I felt like a lot more action in this one. Not that I don't like when it's not as much action, but just a nice change of pace.
Sounds like you don't like it when there's not enough action.
I like variety.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yes. I do like the change of pace because we get to see Abby in... at the CDC and stuff and see her mingling with other people. We actually get to see Harlan back again. So it's good to see those people. I think the episode was really cool and interesting at the end to see how it's going to go forward. So
interesting enough. I actually saw this episode as a great episode, and yet it reminded me of a lot of things. First of all, we were set up with this Harlan storyline. We never got the feel for it. So when they say they're best friends, we don't really feel that. Secondly,
well, I do.
Why? You just like Harlan.
No, I don't want to date him. I do like their relationship, but I thought we were going to
you shouldn't want to date him.
Later.
He is gay.
Yeah, I know.
That's why. He probably wouldn't want to date you. But the whole setup was that I didn't feel like they got into why these two are so close. I get that we're supposed to feel that way, but we haven't heard from them in about 5 episodes. And then we didn't get into the whole concept of the Blue Devil, who just disappeared off the screen as well, which this show seems to do often, is where they bring up one storyline and then just remove it for a later date, which would be nice if other things weren't moving along. If things were going simultaneously, then it'd be very different, but that's not what's happening. Things are moving in a linear path, and yet things are just forgotten and come up later. So all that stuff, all that said, sure, it was a great episode, but I do see these loopholes, and I think we should get into it. Don't forget, I want to hear what you guys think at home as well, each and every one of you. And of course, we have our magic man behind the curtain. Ryan is in the booth holding us down. Thank you so much, Ryan. Mr. Adlib himself. So if you have anything to say or want to talk to us, Ryan will be manning everything. Anais, you were getting into some debates about the things that I felt.
Yes.
I would love to know why what I felt about the episode was wrong.
You're just wrong. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like, I did get the feel that they were, close and everything just because of the acting. I thought the acting was really good. And then the little things that he would do, Harlan with, he brought the pizza and the booze. And it's like he knew what would make Abby feel better. And then just the little things he said when he was, I think I wrote it down on my notes. When he said, he'll always believe Abby forever and always. And when he said if the assistant CDC director goes after her, he said, she'll have to go through me first. So just like little things like that.
You must be the easiest friend in the world because here's my problem.
I have standards.
Here's my problem.
But he
Standards
is
means
showing with his actions right there that, he's willing to stick up for his friend.
Sure.
And believe his friend.
Sure. After he's the one who gave her the email, he's the one that told on her. And on top of
because
that,
he didn't know, and now he knows.
Phone call
now he knows
for
the
5
story.
weeks.
Now he knows the story. At that time, he didn't know that she cared so much about Alec.
Spoken.
And now he said all this after she told him about Alec. So at that time he didn't know.
Yeah, but they hadn't even spoken.
In the comments, let us know who's right. If you're on my side,
best friends actually tend to talk.
Yeah, but that's why you said he was upset that they didn't talk. So that shows you why he's used to them talking. So that means they were better friends.
Sure, that's just a line. I feel that there could have been.
Okay, do you not have friends? Ooh.
There could have been a situation where there could have been.
He thinks that everyone's lying.
Anais is loving her own joke.
The concept that I feel is that the story wasn't there. If they could have put any single person, it didn't have to be Harlan. Then in that case, it could have been Stephanie. And Stephanie goes, "We haven't talked in so long." And it could have been anything. Why introduce him, remove him, and then bring him back? That's the problem.
Well,
whenever you write a script, you should have that concept of where the characters are going.
Well, you'll find out more maybe towards the end.
Sure, I mean Harlan's disappearance.
But so far, I think they have a great friendship.
Like you said, I'm worried about Blue Devil. I'm worried about Liz. I haven't seen either of those. I don't know where their storyline is going. Yeah. Like they both had a big part in the story, and it just kind of dropped. Like
it dropped in Xanadu. We get these little tabs and dabs of Xanadu, and here's the problem: there isn't a season 2, so we know that already, and they kind of knew that.
Hashtag save Swamp Thing.
So we are going to try to save Swamp Thing, but the concept is we are getting storylines that are going to drift into the abyss, and unfortunately, with a lot of shows that do get canceled, you see this happen, and then the shows that don't, you do see the wrap-ups, and that's what the problem, in my opinion, is. Let's talk some Matt and Lucilia, since we have such good relationship theories from Anais. What were your ideas about Matt and Lucilia's conflict, coming off the revelation that half-black Matt is actually just more white? Well, are we going to act like that wasn't a thing?
I'm so happy you said that. No. I said that last week.
Are we not going to talk about that?
Just saying.
She is supposedly, mixed
Creole?
Too.
Sure.
So that's why.
No, there is no two. Avery Sunderland is not mixed, okay?
I know, but her genes could still be strong.
I'm not a geneticist, but let me help you here, okay? Let me allow
I know
me.
Usually the male is more dominant.
No, I'm not even going with that. I'm just going with this.
This is easy.
This is what I'm going with, okay? So when, let's say Creole, even though she's mixed, let's say she's Creole. She's got a tan. She's got a tan.
Yeah.
Has a child with a white person. That person doesn't look more black than both of them together. That's just how it works. Listen.
Well,
unless you're Michael Jackson's kids.
In the comments from last week's after show, people were saying that. They were just basically saying that it is possible for Matt to be tan.
Was it the
because
of her
because of her because of the mom?
I gotta agree. Who was saying that in the comments?
Let's pull them up.
We do have Ryan there. Ryan, I'd love to take a little poll and see how many people said it.
She does look tan, so it's not like she was like this pale woman with a dark skinned son.
But either way, in the story, that is his son. That is her son.
And which I don't have a problem with if this was one of those shows where everyone was just racially ambiguous or didn't matter what race they were and it didn't come up in the story.
We should just bring in Maury to settle this with the DNA test.
Let's
see. Settle everything.
It's not his son. It's not his. And here's the thing. Even like Kanye and Kim, who by the way, Kanye is black and Kim is very tan, right? Thank you for that. their kids look less black than Matt. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. As a mixed person myself, I feel like I have a grasp on these things. Now, here's the interesting thing. If both parents were black and they had a white child, I would understand that. That would actually be an understandable situation that comes up. It happens because of heritage, because of unfortunate institutions, and it happens. However, in this particular situation, I'm so sorry. So unless we find out that Avery Sunderland's great-great-grandmother was Harriet Tubman,
maybe, he might have it in his background.
I don't think the Sunderlands
might just
did.
skip a generation.
Yeah.
Like,
But we do get this revelation, and it does cause conflict. And then we, of course, see Lucilia bring up, "I did this for you. I tried to kill people for you." And we have this great revelation how now even though they seem like the nicest people, they were both the most corrupt of cops.
Yeah.
Individually and then together as a team now. What did you think of this relationship?
I don't understand why Matt is like all in his feelings, honestly. Because first off, you went to go shoot Alec, and then you find out your mom is in some crap as well, and you act like she's the bad person. Neither of y'all are good. Like you said, like, I understand there's level to this, like, being bad and stuff, but like you're kind of being hypocritical. Exactly. And I know, like, finding out that's his dad is a big revelation, but like you skipping work, you being like rude to other people, blowing off steam and stuff, is like, dude, you got too much stuff going on. You know, at least you think you killed Avery. Like, you can't be pouting. You got stuff to do. You gotta keep it going. So I didn't like that. Yeah,
he was a little too brooding a little much in this episode. So I agree with what you said. So yeah.
I think Matt's being kind of a brat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I also think that we didn't see this character development also from before, and so it's annoying. It's not shocking. It's not a turn. It's more just an annoying. If we had seen maybe snippets of him being less than savory, because up to this point he's come off as the perfect gentleman. Mm-hmm. So fine, they wanted to make it a twist, but it wasn't a big enough twist. It just wasn't real enough for us. Now, even something like Lucilia, for example, where she's having this affair with Avery, that was something that was set up. We saw that come, and so when we saw it happen on screen, we anticipated it, and even though we knew, it still felt like a more realistic turn. But when she came off corrupt, trying to protect her son, yes, but when then she was also just conspiring with Avery and taking money, that came off kind of forced as well.
Yeah, I can see that. It also threw me off where Maria came in when she was like also helping the sheriff and Matt, and like, when did they do that? When did they coerce? When
was that conversation?
That's what I'm saying.
I just feel that had to do with her medication. That's what I think. That's my theory. I don't know, because I felt like that's when it changed after she was at the hospital. So I felt that was, I don't know, I could be wrong.
I was gonna say, we still don't know if she's on medication, if she's not, if it was all a lie. What was she doing? Like, because she was a mute for like a while, seeing a ghost that's gone after one episode of just because we saw the storyline. Does the like a ghost not come back anymore? So there's, like you said, there's so many drop storylines that we're missing, and I'm wondering if it was because of the reshoots that they're just like, no, we don't need this anymore. But you set up so many different things.
I'm not losing hope yet. I feel like it's all going to be wrapped up.
But even if it does,
in episode 10.
My problem isn't that it doesn't wrap up. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that it will wrap up. My personal problem is the concept that the storyline is moving in a linear format, meaning everything is happening. And if they were happening simultaneously, I wouldn't have a problem with it. They did the same thing in Doom Patrol, where things were happening, but at the same time, the next episode would show what was going on the other side. Mm-hmm. This isn't what happens. Oftentimes when Swamp Thing comes on, I'm actually, even though I just saw the last episode, I'm lost at what's going on in the next episode. When did a lot of this stuff happen? What are the 0.5 episodes that we haven't seen? 7.5, 8.5. You know, and that's what my problem is. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to tie it up. Everything's going to work out. But don't introduce a ghost and then this child is just gone, even though we're still in your house as the night progresses.
And Susie's supposedly in the house chilling upstairs.
Exactly. That's what the possessed Susie is upstairs, and now she's unpossessed. And where is she?
Yeah,
why didn't she go, hey guys, can I have some dinner too? Like something.
Like, she's supposed to be connected to Swamp Thing. That's supposed to be a big thing, able to talk to him and relate to him, or connect to him
They
somehow.
have some type of psychic connection of some
And
sort.
What, 3 episodes she's just gone? So they're just missing.
Save Susie. Hashtag save Susie.
Well, I think Susie's there. We know Susie.
Bring
so
back
nothing
Susie.
happened to Susie. It's
Yeah, I
just
know.
why are they not interjecting the way it would happen? And this is why they're creating a realistic world out of something that's extremely mythical. So keep it consistent. That's all I'm saying. Keep the storylines consistent. If Harlan is the best friend, show me he's the best. Show me a missed call. Let me feel that Harlan's presence is known. We got him in episode 2, and we even spoke about it on the show. Hey, this is the best friend. I can't wait to see more of this. And then literally the next episode, Harlan was gone, and she never said, "Man, I miss Harlan." Harlan.
Well, she
has to
said it
go
twice
back.
today on this episode that she missed him.
Because
so.
he was back. He was there.
But she was so busy with Alec. You know, it's like when you
sight,
like
out of
someone,
mind.
you like forget everyone in your life and you ignore your friends. So that's what she was doing. She was really into
Understand that
Alec for a
about-
while. And
understand
then
that
she's
now.
like, oh yeah, I have this best friend that I care about. So she kind of had to get away from Alec to like remember.
Well, I'll tell you people that we will never forget. It's each and every one of you at home. Let me let you know that even though we're on the panel, you guys are more, if not as much more, a part of this panel than all of us here at AfterBuzz. We love hearing from you.
Yeah, you guys literally make us the ESPN of TV talk. We love your comments. We love the conversations, what you guys do. I feel like I learned so much from you guys. So I just please remember to like the video. If you guys are watching the Apple Podcast, do the thumbs up. Give me that 5 stars. You know, all those. You guys literally make us who we are. I've learned so much being here. I've been able to moderate. I've been able to host. I've been able to learn just from talking to people around here. So I want to say thank you guys to the fans and thank you guys to the panelists. And it's been a great time.
Man, I want to give you the Oscar. That was
Thanks,
the music would have came on. Here's my thing. All we need you to do is
thank my
share
mom.
and subscribe. Exactly. Share, subscribe. Tell your friends about this. That's all the support we need from you. We appreciate each and every one of you. And also, for all of you who do comment, you know that I give the most creative responses to everything. So talk to me, talk with me, talk about me. Let's have that going. Let's get into Abby and Harlan. So since we've spoken about this so much from the get-go, for some reason, Anais is feeling this connection. Please, how did you feel about their friendship?
I just said it. I just want me to repeat everything I said. I just pretty much said everything I wanted to say already. So
I'm kind of confused though. I don't understand how he goes from being the best friend, playing that role, but then also telling the CDC, oh, she's not here. Oh, like whatever he said to her. He probably didn't make it as far as saying as much as she let on.
Palmer seems to be a troublemaker, right?
Yeah, but I also don't know if she's like being told what to do because when she directs Abby to the room with everybody else, she leaves the room.
Yeah.
She doesn't like go in there. I mean, she doesn't really know the plan. She doesn't know all of it. So
she probably got paid.
That's
why you would do it. For money.
At first I thought she was just rude and just like gonna play that role, but then I feel like she is just playing in line and actually being controlled. So it was an interesting subject, but yeah, I don't understand why Harlan would tell the CDC that and then turn around like, hey, we're best friends. Remember, here's the pizza and the alcohol.
And let her get blindsided. See, that's another thing. Abby comes into the CDC, Harlan's there, and then all of a sudden Palmer drops the ball and then lets her know Harlan's the one who kind of updated me that there were no updates. And Harlan's like, oh, I don't know. I was concerned, which I would have bought more if he had said, where have you been? Something, some angst, something. And so with Harlan and Abby, I'm glad that we're getting more Harlan, and then of course he gets taken away from us at the end.
That was so sad.
Was it sad?
Yes, and then right behind her.
Was it sad?
For me, it was. Okay. And
No,
I feel like he should have screamed. That's why when something happens to you, you need to scream, okay? Because maybe she could have heard. Maybe.
Stranger danger. Because
yes.
she was only there just sipping alcohol, literally looking the opposite
way. It was so
way.
frustrating. It was like, your friend is getting kidnapped. Turn around.
Honestly, they tried to make it show like how close they were to like being there, but I kind of thought it was funny. I was like, it's right behind you. You can't hear any of that going on. It was a kind of interesting.
Because it was kind of a quiet night. It's not like it was like all this traffic and people. So it's like, I feel like, especially when you're by yourself at night, any little noise you're gonna like look, especially outside. So I was like, maybe she has very like thick windows and it's like so soundproof she can't hear, but that's not safe.
It said it was 1 a.m. So obviously it was very quiet out, but it is a TV show. Let's just be real. So she wasn't gonna hear him. I just don't know what's next for him because he gets kidnapped. Obviously, it is Ellery's people. That's what I'm assuming because he knows where he is at. He knows where he's taking him and stuff. So it's like.
Well, it's because they want the information that Abby has because they're getting Harlan and then Alec because...
So no one's buying the storyline of the dengue fever in Bangladesh? No one's buying that?
Because if we get those two people, then you're going to hopefully try to get Abby to talk.
I have a question. Has anyone here ever worked for the CDC? You don't know how they reassign people.
No.
Maybe that's how they do it. Maybe that's their operation format.
No lie. When they said, he's on a 5 a.m. flight, the first thing I was like, he's got to be so hungover. Oh my God. I was like, he was over there stumbling out the house, and now he's like, 5 a.m. flight, we're doing.
When you get reassigned, you get reassigned. Let's assume that the people who took Harlan were trained, meaning that they're trained operatives who are used to abducting informants. Mm-hmm. Sure. So let's chop that up to that. Because I don't want to sit there and talk about how, when we mention all the things on the show that we are finding flaws with, it's because we enjoy the show so much that it's easy to find. And of course, when you critique a show instead of just watch a show, you're sitting there critiquing it, you're looking at every single angle and dynamic. So if we weren't watching the show for the commentary, then we wouldn't have noticed that. We wouldn't have noticed because we frequently watch shows in which dinosaurs who make noise every single time, the Tyrannosaurus Rex all of a sudden sneaks up on someone and just snatches them. So every other time the whole ground shook except for the time he decided to be a ninja, right? So we wouldn't have noticed that. I think that the Abby and Harlan connection and Harlan being taken away is going to lead to something a lot more, but it's also to show the depths of what's going on with Palmer, who is clearly a new antagonist who comes up and we cannot be trusted and obviously has a hidden agenda in some way working for the Conclave, this Illuminati group that seems to be running things. And also, we're going to lead this to the lab in which Swamp Thing is also taken. So maybe we get an idea there. And for a secret, everyone sure knows that Alec is the Swamp Thing and what's going on. Like, I feel like maybe we shouldn't tell as many people as we do.
That was the worst kept secret ever. Like,
worst kept secret.
Like, Abby told what?
She told Harlan.
She told Harlan, Matt, and Liz. So, Matt just kind of ruined that for everybody.
Them, so...
Yeah, you can't be just telling everybody. Like,
you're right, and this is why I don't have friends. My secrets don't tend to get out. The concept is every single person knows. At this point, everyone in the CDC knows. Everyone, and Nathan Ellery and his entire corporation knows. Dr. Woodrow and every Sutherland in the world knows. Who doesn't know?
Avery was so relaxed.
Even some random guy in a boat. Some random guy in a boat who we also never found out what that was about. Another drop storyline. Even that guy knew.
Phantom Stranger?
Yes. Another storyline that just went nowhere.
Drop storyline.
And he knew. He was like, hey, Alec, what's up, bro? Like, wow, how did you know out of nowhere? Like, who doesn't know that Alec is the Swamp Thing? We do get this new lab off the books. Dr. Woodrow, who I don't think is shady. I just think he's obsessed.
Okay.
And there's a difference. His hidden agenda is science. His hidden agenda is his wife. His hidden agenda is not everything else. He's being manipulative in order to get to the science.
Yeah.
He will take the bigger lab, whoever. If Ellen DeGeneres was like, you get a lab. Oprah was like, you get a lab, you get a lab. He would take whatever more. He wants more of this knowledge. He loves the science. He wants it.
I think... He's not evil, but I think he's very aggressive. And there's there's a specific word for it, but he's very aggressive with it because I remember when him and Avery are talking, and Avery, which kind of threw me off, Avery was like, no, let's actually save Alec and let's actually help him out. He's like, no, we could be the best scientists. Your names will be on forever and people will always know you. But and that's like kind of narcissistic a little bit.
I am thinking he's doing it, he's manipulating to get his way for the science, because if we save Alec, we get no more science. It ends right there. This is actually, Dr. Woodrow reminds me of the scientists that we get coming out of the unfortunate Nazi Hollywood. This is the kind of evil person that does this, where you're doing it and justifying it in the name of science, but it's evil. You did inject this into someone without human testing. His wife brings that up. He's just, oh, well, we can do it. We can do it bigger. We can do it more. So the ends don't justify the means.
It's not very ethical.
And
it's not. That's a great way to put it.
Another thing that I didn't realize?
Ethical.
He doesn't even have he has a reason why, obviously, because his wife is sick. But she's been talking about leaving for how many episodes? And she was just chilling there, when Avery comes.
I mean, she does have, early onset Alzheimer's, so I feel like she probably forgets that she wants to leave. So it's like, I'm gonna leave, and then she forgets.
She didn't forget to stab the Blue Devil in the back.
Exactly. I mean,
to protect her man.
Understand that she might have forgot, but they've used this in the show multiple episodes, so that means she should be alluding to actually leaving, and that could cause him to even go more mad. But I haven't seen that. I've seen him go more mad, but I just haven't seen her actually take that next step that would actually take him to the next step and make him mad. So that's why I didn't really understand that. He's just continually growing, more angry, more aggressive with it. And I hate to say I don't see why, but I don't see another factor happening, and I want to see that.
More symptoms or no?
I mean, just something that another action that makes him want to be more aggressive with her. There's nothing. I mean, I hate to say nothing because his wife is sick, but you know what I'm saying? There's usually another factor that takes you to the next step.
Well, this is another one of those things where, yes, we understand his wife is sick, but we don't see her sick. She's actually extremely capable and able, and it's in the same way that we get Avery's wife all of a sudden being a boss. We get Woodrow's wife also being a boss, which I'm a fan of.
She did not know who those people were. She asked them, "Oh, who's that nice couple?" So
yeah, they did.
That's something.
They definitely show her sickness when after the dinner, but also
did they?
They did because
no. Did they? Think about what they did. They threw it. It's one of the things where sometimes we get with the script where you throw in a line so we forget everything else that did not happen.
No, I agree with that, but I'm just saying that they did it on purpose to remind us that she's still sick.
She is sick.
But they didn't. I agree with you. They haven't showed it enough. To an extent.
It wasn't enough for me to feel sympathetic to her.
That's what I'm saying. It was just a nod.
Yeah, it was
honestly, people could have just overlooked that.
Yeah.
Because if you're just listening, it's no, they're not. They're not a couple, and then continue. He doesn't
acknowledge her
exactly.
And this is what I mean. If we had had her coughing throughout episodes when she's doing stuff, I'd be like, oh man, she's sick. Oh, she's doing it despite of her sickness, in spite of her sickness, because of her sickness. At this point, at the end of dinner, she was like, oh, where am I? That's it? I need more.
People with Alzheimer's, they take pills all the time.
Sure.
There's so many ways you can just nod towards it, and every time that she's in the episode to also remember that or
remind us, or he feels and brings it up more. Yeah. It's just little things. Avery's in the swamp. Let's go to that storyline because that was actually the strongest storyline of the episode. Is Avery. They've done a fantastic job of creating and developing this character. He is the empathetic evil. He is the sympathetic villain. He is the most evil, and yet you still like it when he's on screen. You like it when he's with Lucilia. You like it. Well, for most of us, we do.
We have the total opposite reaction. I'm like, yes. She's like, mm-mm.
Well, Avery is actually, to me, one of the most fantastic, captivating parts of this show. So there are certain parts of this show that I thoroughly enjoy. In fact, while I get away from Swamp Thing and all that stuff, and Abby, who, sure, but I'm loving Liz and I'm really loving Avery. Those are the strongest, to me, the strongest parts.
Yeah, and you see, I don't know if it's growth or not, but you see him kind of change a little bit because we've only seen him as evil towards everybody around him. It's he's only nice to get what he wants. But when he changes that and actually, you saved my life, Alec. I want to see if I can try to help you. At first, I thought it was a lie. I thought it was just like saying that just to get out or whatever and like trap him. And then when he actually reiterates that same sentiment to Jason, it like comes off as genuine. And Jason kind of manipulates him, kind of pressures him into like sabotaging that whole setup. But you definitely see him grow, I feel like, or at least another side of him. You definitely see another side of him. Obviously, Anais is not. She is not convinced.
You're not an Avery fan.
No.
So what would happen if Avery wasn't in any of the episodes?
No, I'm not saying he's not entertaining or he's boring.
He's the guy you love to hate.
I'm just saying as a like character, like as a person, like I hate him because I judge people by their actions, and he's a pretty bad dude. And yes, it was nice to see kind of a little bit of his background and what happened. And yeah, that was bad, but I still don't feel sorry for him because he's just done so many bad things, and it's like, okay, after a while, you can't just like always be like, oh, well, this happened to me, so that justifies me being an a-hole and killing people. So, sorry, no. And then when he's trying to, I just don't believe that he wants to help Alec for genuine reasons. Like, he might be putting on an act, and he probably wants to help him because he can try to hopefully make Alec do other stuff for him, or I don't know, just I feel like he's always trying to get something from people. Like, he doesn't do a nice deed for just to be nice. He does it because there's an ulterior motive. So I don't really buy that. So yeah.
But what would the alternative motive be if he's telling Jason that he wants to help save Alec? Like, that's the part that I kind of figured, oh, this is actually genuine, because there's no reason to lie to Jason in that scene. So like, I feel like this episode created layers for Avery. It didn't like make him the good person by any means. He's still a bad person. I just think it created layers for his character and for us to understand kind of how he got to where he is. Because every good villain we need to know how he got to be a villain.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can't really see right now like what his ulterior motive would be, but then I also couldn't see like why he wanted to save Alec.
Because I feel like he genuinely felt Alex helped him. Alec came through, specifically says the swamp wanted to kill you and I saved you. And the boat shows up, which even Avery's like, there's no boat. And then when there's a boat, he's like, wow, this guy's actually really helping me. And Avery, for a second, had a redeeming moment in which he said, you saved my life, I will save yours. And I believed him. However, then the bigger motive came on, which was his fortune, his fame, and his glory, which this is his Captain Ahab, and the swamp is his giant whale. This is his Moby Dick. He's trying to, he's just obsessed with it since he was a kid. We saw the memory of his father being taken by the tree in which he warned his father, they say this one has properties. So when he sees that, he can't let that go. I just saw something magical, mythical, and I didn't find it. I'm going to find it. And capture it and use it.
Sorry. Just, okay. Well, what about the ending? Okay. He said he wanted to help Alec, but then he lets him get captured.
That's
so
hold,
please.
How is that helping him?
Let's be very fair. There were two people who were put in the same position, Abby and Avery. And the concept was, we're going to do this with or without you. If you're not on board, it will be more violent. It will be worse. And both of them go with the intention of doing it peacefully. Now, we don't know if Abby wasn't part of the same plot because behind their backs, they're both working for the same people. This conclave, Ellery.
Abby?
Yeah.
Working for a conclave?
She is, because if you remember, she goes into the meeting, we discussed it, and they say, if you don't bring him in, we know all about Alec. Before you say anything, we know about Alec. We know he's your patient. We know what you've been doing. If you don't bring him in, we're going to do it our way, and it's not going to be good. So Abby shows up in the woods. Here, she has no reason to think she's not being followed. She's under investigation. We're all under the assumption that Avery's the one that gave it up. I wouldn't be surprised if Abby wasn't the one who went in because she thinks this is the best way to protect Alec.
Yeah, and I kind of want to like talk more about that, but it goes right into my whoa moment. So like, do you guys want to?
Let's get into the concept of Swamp Thing being taken, and we have to say this: we're gonna find out where he's being taken, and that's gonna lead to it all. Let's get into that news and gossip.
Mm-hmm.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right. Okay, so for those of you lucky enough to be at SCCC right now, guess what, guys? DC Universe is releasing exclusive posters there, one every day. So hopefully you got the one for Thursday for their shows: Titans, Doom Patrol, Young Justice, and Swamp Thing. So maybe there's hope that Swamp Thing's going to be saved. I don't know. Because why would they release a Swamp Thing poster just for no reason?
I was thinking the same thing. I saw that.
Fingers
I saw that
crossed.
the other day, and I was wondering. I was like, they're making a new graphic. They're like somewhat promoting the show, talking about how it's gonna be on SDCC and everything, and then it's canceled. Like I'm a little optimistic.
Yeah, so check out the posters. Try to grab all 4. If you, for some reason, get like extra and don't want them, send them to us. It'd be great, because I'm not gonna be there. Or are you?
No, I was about to say your boy will definitely want one.
Yeah, I'll take any of them. It's fine.
Well, San Diego Comic-Con fans, make sure to go check out that DC comic booth and get those.
I want to talk
posters.
a little bit about the Bruce Springsteen lyrics.
Sure, let's get to it. Long Walk Home.
So yes, that is the name of this week's episode. And some of the lyrics that stood out to me were, "You just slipped something into my palm and you were gone," which reminded me of the
flower.
The Beauty and the Beast thing that I called it. And then it also says, "I could smell the same deep green of summer." So the green. You all know, because we watch the show, so we know their reference. And then the other one is, "My father said, son, we're lucky in this town. It's a beautiful place to be born. It just wraps its arms around you." So that, reminds me of, when the swamp attacks people or whatever. It's just like,
when it took Avery's dad.
Goes all over you.
The song definitely grabs people.
Let us know what you think about, any lyrics that stood out to you, and what your theories are about why they use Bruce Springsteen titles for the episode titles.
Well, let's talk about that whoa moment. I know Jeff had one that was waiting to be heard.
Yes.
So whoa, were the moment that jumped out at you on screen, Jeff?
The one moment is when we see, like we talked about earlier, when Avery is actually trying to help Alec, or saying he's going to help Alec, and he's talking to Jason. I actually had to pause. I was like, this is the first time we actually see him doing something nice for no reason other than to be nice. And I felt like this actually gave him layers. And that, like I said earlier, and we've never seen this character have layers. We've just seen him been straight evil at everybody and trying to get his way at every which way. So I thought this was a whoa moment in the fact that we actually see, I guess, growth or layers to the character. So that was my whoa moment for this episode.
All right.
What was
Me?
your?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So visually, my whoa moment was Lucilia and that hallucination. Like, oh my god, that was so scary. So visually, that was it. And then the other one was just the end when it looked like they're actually going to be able to take him. So that was really sad.
Well, it does look like they took him, and my whoa moment's going to definitely be when Avery brought out the shotgun, where the bigger motive of fame and fortune overtook his moral and ethical motive of save the one who saved you. And he took out the gun and just shot him, which everything else was ineffective, but the shotgun worked enough to stun him, because even Alec was shocked. Like E2 Brutus.
Yeah. It kind of just goes against what everything I just said. Because, how do you... he picked a motive that was more appealing to him, being nice or more than money. So it's very frustrating, but you just see layers.
Well,
He's definitely not a good guy, but
We're
you see
going to
layers.
find out so much more as it goes in.
Exactly.
Let's jump right into predictions.
Yes, and I honestly got...
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
There we are. No, but I have Liz and Abby actually teaming up, because I'm being optimistic, and I want some more Liz. So I want them to team up and actually get ST out. So I want Swamp Thing to be broken out of the lab that they're in, and I think that's going to happen in the next episode.
I just want Susie. I have more hopes than predictions. That's just how I am. I'm like, just things I want to see. I don't know if it's actually gonna happen. I just want Susie to come back. That's it.
That's simple.
I'm gonna relax.
That's all I want. Swamp Thing. I just want one person.
Hashtag save Swamp Thing.
And Susie.
Well, my prediction is going to be that Abby goes and, like you said, goes to save Swamp Thing, but it comes out that Abby might have been also in, like they had brought it up to her to go bring him in, and that's going to cause a little bit of conflict, and she's going to have to explain that she would never do that. I feel like Abby and Avery are coming to a showdown. There has to be a showdown between the two, and we learn more about what's going on with Maria and her daughter and the death. So I think those are going to be the predictions. And we see Blue Devil next episode. Mm-hmm. That's what happened to him. We'll find out. We'll find out more. But let's find out where we can find you if you want to be found, Jeff.
Yeah, you guys can find me on a plethora of after shows. All That, Euphoria, Swamp Thing, Legion. But hey,
that's a plethora.
You guys can find me at JeffWill_Jr. on all your social media platforms.
And Anais.
Hey, so I'm also on the All That and Young Justice Outsiders after shows with him, and Instagram at More Than You Think 7.
Yep, and that's right. And I'll be at that Young Justice Outsiders show too. If you haven't seen me, it's because I've been gone, but I'm back for now, limited time only. If you don't know who I am Tehran, literally across the board. IAMTHRAN, and find me hosting and paneling on a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows as well. Until next week, Swamp Thing fans, we will see you. Make sure to hashtag Save Swamp Thing. Till next time.
Get us some free posters.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.